Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Crown and today we are going to have some more stories that I hope that you will enjoy. But before we start, it would be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now, without further ado, let's go! Hey guys, it's Crown. Thank you so much for the kind wishes and prayers you sent me yesterday. I truly appreciate it. Forgive me for not being able to respond to every single one of them, but I definitely read all of them and received all the love and concern. I'm feeling slightly better today after taking some of your advice, and hopefully I'll sound a bit better in today's narrations. Let's go. First story. Petty revenge at the dog park. It was great weather this morning and I decided to take my mutt to the dog park. This park is typical of others. It's fenced and has a plastic bag dispenser at both gates so dog parents can clean up after their kid goes poop. The back gate leads to a greenway/walking trail. A woman walked in the park ahead of me with her dog. I follow behind and get a bag because I know my girl is going to make a big boom boom within a minute of sniffing around. And she does. So does the lady's dog. I dutifully bag the poop. And as I'm walking towards the trash can, I notice a lady walking towards the back gate with her dog. She exited the park and disappeared down the trail, leaving behind an epic mound of what appeared to be half-digested pizza with lots of anchovies. I hate people who don't bother cleaning up after their dog. Cue the wicked bitterness in my soul. I got another bag and cleaned up after her dog. I then let my dog play and waited for her to return. I was going to hand it back to her along with some choice commentary, but when it was time for me to go, she had not yet returned. No problem, she had parked right beside me. I had intended to dump her dog's poop on the hood of her car, but to my gleeful surprise, she'd left one of her back windows down. I did not dump the poop inside her car. I am not that big of a jerk, but I casually opened her back door and snuck the bag under her seat before leaving the scene with a big grin. It is now a sunny 85 degrees here. I hope the smell inside her car is nauseating. Next story. Entitled Dad Assaults Me for Faking an Injury. Backstory for context. I had just left the hospital about a week or so ago due to really bad pain behind my knee. So bad that I couldn't sit, stand fully upright, walk, lay down, nor bend or fully straighten my leg. It came out of nowhere and got progressively worse every day that I ended up bedridden for 2 weeks. Also to note that even though the summer heat is coming to an end where I live, I drank plenty of cold water to the point where I'd have to get up every hour to use the bathroom throughout the day. The pain was so bad that I would lose the urge and would just lay in bed all day, not even wanting to get up to eat or pee because it was so bad and sensitive to the touch that any movement would make me wince. Doctors were baffled. So there was a CT scan and an MRI done, as well as bringing in an oncologist because I had a large mass of fat behind my leg, a tumor about the size of a football. Hearing oncologist almost brought me to tears as I feared for the worst. It turns out what I thought was a really bad cramp was actually torn tendons and ligaments in my leg. I hadn't fallen or hit my leg against anything, which is what confused everyone. And the large mass was just a fatty tumor, nothing too serious according to the doctors and surgeon. No operation was done. It is not cancerous. And I was told in a few weeks the swelling would go down and my leg should heal naturally. I've been using a walker since discharge and just recently the pain is much more tolerable that I no longer need it. But still use a walking cane because there is still a chance I could fall. And I won't risk it for a biscuit. Now that this is out of the way, on to the story. I've been given hydrocodone upon discharge for the pain, but only for 3 days, as it's pretty strong and one could possibly get addicted. So I've been taking Tylenol after my meds ran out, and it's the strongest OTC medicine I could get. I have to keep my leg either very still while laying down or constantly moving it, i.e. walking, as it hurts if I stand still for too long. This incident happened 2 days ago. Instead of sitting at home doing leg exercises in bed and waiting for my dad to go bring me pain meds, I decided to go with him to keep myself moving, hoping it would help me, plus spend more quality time with him. We've had an on and off bumpy relationship. So we headed to the pharmacy, and once we're there, I decided I also wanted some jacket snacks. I informed my dad about this so he doesn't have to slowly follow me around. I suggest he go out to get some quick groceries at the supermarket across the street, and he agrees and we go our separate ways for a while. I go around with a basket and pick my stuff up along with pain meds, taking my time, then head to the counter up front. This is where the entitled dad and his son come into play. The son was quiet the entire time and didn't say a word. As I'm standing in line, I put my basket down next to me and hold on to my cane. As I mentioned before, it hurts to stay standing still for too long, and my hands start to wobble a bit as I'm struggling. The entitled dad is behind me in line and makes a snide remark about me struggling to stand, saying how I should quit being a drama queen. You can wait. I turn to him and glare for a few seconds before replying, I have a bad leg. I cannot stand for too long, in a deep, irritated tone before turning away. As I do, this man has the absolute nerve to walk over and picks up my basket and starts rummaging through my items. I turn and demand loudly to put down my basket now, to ensure I grab other people's attention. He scoffs and hands it to his son, who's about maybe 6 years old and carrying their own basket, and keeps rummaging, picking out and commenting on my snacks and get to my pain meds. What are you, some sort of junkie? What's with all these painkillers? You're getting off on these, aren't you? There's only 3 other people in line who are either starting or trying to not get involved. I ignore his question and ask for my basket back. This angers the entitled dad, and he asks again in a much louder voice, You're getting off on these, aren't you? And he throws the stuff back into the basket. I'm almost up to the counter next, but I walk a bit closer as my leg is now starting to feel a bit stiff, and ask once again for my basket. And the entitled dad shouts, Fine! And as I hold my hand out to grab it, he, instead of handing it to me, throws it forward towards me. I'm only 5'7", and this man was about 6 foot something, a pretty tall guy, and threw it at chest height as if tossing a basketball. So basically he tossed it at my head. I put my hands up to not catch it but to block it from hitting me in the face. As soon as it hit me, I was knocked backwards, stumbling with my leg in pain from the sudden movement as I tried to catch my balance or grab onto something, anything, so I wouldn't hit the floor. If I had fallen against the counter, it would have been much better as I'd still be standing. But I fell straight on my butt and onto my back. The rope around my wrist from my cane, coupled with the momentum, made the cane spin back and I landed on it with my right arm. I cannot tell you how much I screamed and cried in agony as I fell, and lay there trying to move my body to my right side. I can't even sit down normally without pain and have to lean most of my body to the right whenever I sit down, on the toilet seat, at the dinner table, or even sitting upright on my soft mattress. Any weight or pressure on my leg makes it hurt and it's uncomfortable and gives me backaches. So landing hard straight down was absolute hell. The other customers, as well as the cashier and store manager, started shouting at the guy while trying to help me up. I declined, wanting to stay on the floor, as it would be much better than if I was sitting or standing, and demanded loudly for the cops to be called and to not let that man go, as I was sure as hell going to be pressing charges. The entitled dad doubles down and shouts back at everyone else, I mean, look at him. He's exaggerating. He's not hurt. Look at these pain meds. He walks to my basket and take out my stuff I'm buying. He's probably getting high off of these. How the hell? No one needs this many Tylenol. He's addicted. He doesn't even need this. Then he proceeds to kick my cane away, but the strap is still around my wrist. It's all fake. It's an act. As he is finishing his stupid speech, his voice is starting to shake as I'm guessing he's realized he's not going to win this one. He goes and grabs his son's hand, puts his basket down and tries to speed walk out of the store, muttering something along the lines of, "Come on, X, we don't need this. We'll go to another store." But one customer blocks his pass, as well as the manager who's already on the phone with a dispatcher and saying officers are on their way. Upon hearing this, the entitled dad bolts, dragging his kid along and shoves a customer blocking his pass into the metal detector near the entrance. The entitled dad stumbles as a woman and her kid in a stroller starts to walk in. The entitled dad is dancing left to right trying to get past a woman who is now just standing there confused as what's happening. The shoved customer gets back on his feet, runs up to the entitled dad, spins him around 180 and tackles him to the floor, keeping him pinned. Fast forward to my dad coming back and asking what the hell happened. I explained as well as the other customers and manager. Police arrive after a while and everyone start to explain what happened. Statement was given, charges were pressed, and the entitled dad was taken in cuffs to the back seat of a squad car. His son stayed behind and would be picked up by his aunt. And the only thing he said was, "I'm sorry," before we left. Next story. You mess up my concert, I mess up your shorts. So, to just start off, I've been to a good amount of concerts. I'm well aware of how they work and they are first come first serve when it comes to standing spots. If you move, you lose. And you are 100% allowed to push through the crowd. But I'm sure everyone knows that at a certain point, you're the jerk if you continue to push onto a small space when you come hours late and just use force to get where you want. That's where I feel like I'm somewhat justified. I was at the very last Warped Tour. I had bought my tickets the moment they released and I had prepped and scheduled my day so that I could see every band that I wanted to since this was the last big tour. I was so excited and made a list of the bands I wanted to see and timed how long I could be there before moving on to the next band. My one goal that day though was to see Falling in Reverse. I had never seen them live, and I was so hyped to see them. I went with my best friend, and we had a blast for the majority of the day. I was keeping an eye on the clock and timed it perfectly to be at the stage where they were supposed to play before the previous band ended. This was so that once those fans left, I could have the first pick of the spots. My plan worked perfectly, and me and my best friend were literally two people behind the stage. It was an amazing spot right in the middle. I held my friend's hand and told to be prepared for people to push, but we needed to stand our ground. After a bit that was true but stayed in that spot, and after everyone settled in, we thought we were safe. The band came out and things started to get lively, and it was awesome. Cue Rude Girl and her friends. One song in and the rude girl pushes between me and my friend and gets in front. I'm annoyed but whatever, it happens. She then turns around, waves to someone behind us. Then one by one more than 7 girls wearing matching white shorts begin to literally shove us to the side and push us back row by row. After the first girl I was fuming. They were late and were being so rough and so inconsiderate. After the 5th one I put my arm in front of the continually growing pile of girls and said, "Hey, there is not enough room, don't be so rude." And the rude girl scoffed and slapped my hand away and said, "Too bad. If you can't take it, do something about it." And then all her friends turned to us and started to prepare to fight. I'm completely aware this is a losing game. I'd get bummeled. So I just rolled my eyes and stayed quiet. And they laughed between themselves before turning around, allowing 3 more girls to shove us to the side and get in front. To say the least, I was fuming. So I did the next best thing I could do. I had come with a small bag with stuff to get signatures, so I pulled out my black permanent marker, and I'm sure the concert goers among us know that when a song comes on, most will jump and bump into each other. I think they know where this is going. Well, for the whole concert, I went wild with those songs, bumping into them and jamming to the songs, with my permanent marker uncapped, marking up each of their white shorts. I did not feel satisfied until I went down along the line and put my beauty marks on all 8 of them. Once the band finished up, I grabbed my best friend's hand and dragged her out of there before they noticed. Later on, hours later, as Warped Tour was ending, I saw the pile of them 2 or 3 were wearing different pants, but the rest had on those white shorts with my very visible artistic touches, with 2 of them covering it with sweaters wrapped around their pants.
And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.